Ambiguity is to storytelling like a fine spice is to a meal. The perfect amount can add tremendous flavor to the story, but too much can prove overpowering and repel someone who might enjoy the story if it had just a little more clarity. It's a narrative element that can either be provocative or frustrating. It all depends on how well the storyteller strikes a balance in imparting enough information to answer the what, but not necessarily the why. Annihilation is no easy watch. It is unwavering in its commitment to be ambiguous, demanding that you accept being in the dark on pivotal details for most of the duration. It offers just enough information for you to have a faint idea of what's happening, but never enough where you can be sure. Answers are scarce in this conglomeration of sci-fi and horror, while interpretations are innumerable. There's a good argument to be made that Annihilation's purpose is to leave its audience just as helpless to understand the otherworldly phenomena that manifests on screen as the characters who experience it firsthand. For some, that will make Annihilation a confusing, hollow experience. For others, that will be precisely why it succeeds. Annihilation feigns predictability with an opening scene that just about any person will recognize takes place last chronologically in the story. In hindsight, it will feel like a moment where the film flaunted its peculiarity. What slim details the introduction spoils ultimately turn out to be irrelevant. Whatever your first notion is as to what unfolded chronologically before that will, in all likelihood, be nothing like what the oddities actually are that Annihilation eventually goes on to showcase. What follows the introduction is the nonlinear story of Lena, played by Natalie Portman, a cellular biologist and former soldier who embarks on an expedition with a small team of other scientists into the Shimmer, a spreading phenomenon within a national park that originates from the landing of an extraterrestrial object. Previously, multiple groups of people, animals, and even drones have been sent into the expanding mass of inexplicable matter to figure out what it is. Their endeavors were utterly fruitless. From the outside, Lena and the government personnel assigned to monitor the Shimmer struggle to make sense of it. When inside, that struggle only intensifies. No matter how deep their excursion takes them into the Shimmer, no matter how much flora, fauna, and geology they come across that is warped beyond recognition in modern science's understanding, they rarely, if ever, find concrete answers. There are only hypotheses lurking within the Shimmer. Annihilation's ubiquitous mystery serves to add far more than just suspense. It exists to create immersion, forming a parallel between its characters and its audience. The dread that Annihilation creates is not from a character unknowingly walking into danger that you, as the audience, are aware of, but can only watch helplessly. There will never be an opportunity for you to scream, "Don't go in there," or "It's right behind you," because you'll never know what actually awaits Lena and her fellow scientists. The audience is made aware that something monumental, often terrifying, is playing out in this premise, but the reason for that beauty or horror is unfathomable. In Annihilation, anything, from the most wondrous to the most grisly, could be the truth. That vast ocean of possibility strikes as deep as, maybe more than, any single answer. When it comes to the art that is horror, there is no more effective brush than the human imagination. For better or for worse, Annihilation remains committed to its ambiguity until the bitter end. The climax and subsequent resolution, if that's even an accurate descriptor, proves more baffling than enlightening. It also goes on long past making its point, whatever in the world that actually is. If there is any single instance where Annihilation is at risk of losing even its most open-minded viewers, it's the climax. But by that juncture, they will already have experienced a serious blend of sci-fi awe and terror. While Annihilation is a thrill for the mind, it is also one for the eyes and ears. The score is haunting, its music subtle and bass. Much of the sound is synthesized, ebbing and flowing with eerie pitch, creating noise that is as alien as the visuals on screen. The imagery comes together in a fine mix of natural settings and CGI that creates the incomprehensible mutations born of the Shimmer's touch. In the way that a poisonous reptile can be identified by vivid or conspicuous coloration, the more transformations that are visible, the stronger that the Shimmer's presence is. The greater the beauty, the greater the danger. Annihilation is destined to be a polarizing film, which undoubtedly played a role in distributor Paramount Pictures choosing a theatrical release strictly for North America and China, with a Netflix release for all other territories. Its adamancy to be strange and mysterious is both its strength and weakness, doomed to turn away many moviegoers, but also fated to enthrall many others. If you can appreciate uncertainty at its most extraordinary, even for just a single movie, Annihilation is a sci-fi outing that will test the limits of your rationale and will stay with you because of that. For the full written review of Annihilation, go to thegeekiverse.com. And for more movie reviews like this, subscribe to youtube.com/thegeekiverse. Up next, we'll be reviewing A Wrinkle in Time, coming to theaters March 8th. Josiah!